Alright guys, here you guys have it. This is our new Blackstone 36-inch Pro Series. What you always got to do right before when you get your first Blackstone is you need to season it, always. So the way we're going to do it is, everybody says you always have to clean it first with soap and water. And this is the only time that you're going to use soap on the Blackstone. After today, no soap, ever. What we're going to be using here, and what I did on my old Blackstone, and it was perfect. You don't see it very often, but it works great. Lard. It just gives that nice shine to it. I don't know, it just gives a good flavor too. So that's what we're gonna use for this grill. You can use any kind of oil you guys have. It doesn't have to be this. You can use whatever you guys have. It works. Any oil works. I know Blackstone has their own. It's the same. Any oil you guys have in your kitchen is perfect. So what we got to do is we got to clean it. So a lot of people drench this whole thing in water and soap. I mean, that's a little bit of an overkill. You guys don't need to do that. Just a little bit like that. Give it a nice clean to get all whatever it had when it was in the factory packaging. It's been there for a long time. So since this is your first time that you're going to season it, and probably your only time that you're going to season it, we need to make sure we get this right. Grab some paper, whatever you guys have. A little bit of So there you have it. Now that it's cleaned, we're gonna make sure it dries before we start the process. So leave it like that for a few minutes, or make sure you dry it really well. So the way we're gonna do it, the last time I did mine, the first one I did mine was I turned it up on high. When it got really hot and you start seeing the little change in colors, I would turn it off, then add oil, turn it back on, burn the oil, turn it off, add oil, turn it back on, bam, bam. Now, Blackstone is saying turn it to high. When it's ready, when you see the coloring, add the oil, and then keep adding oil. So no more turning it off. So I'm going to do that method on the new one. Here we go. So I have my tongs, and I'm going to use just normal paper. That's how I'm going to use it. Like that. So I mean, I have the roll of paper right here next to me. So I'm gonna do the first coat on this one, throw it away, grab a new one, and wait till this is ready for the next coat. So here we go, guys. We have these on high. Now what we're gonna wait is once we start seeing the discoloration in the middle of the heat, then we start to apply our first coat of lard. Now I'm going to move this lard out of there because it's going to get hot and I want it to melt. You don't want to put a lot of lard or whatever oil you're using. Don't put a lot. We're going to do thin layers of coat of oil, and we might do 3 layers, 4 layers, 5 layers, however much it takes to get this nice and black. So this is our first layer, thin coats. So it's going to take about 10 to 15 minutes to get this where we need to start our first coat. All right guys, it's been like 15 minutes now. We're seeing this dark right in the middle. That's getting real hot. It's ready to go for our first coat. So just like that. And make sure you go everywhere, nice and even. Make sure you get all the sides. Do the edges too. You want to get those. Now we're going to wait till the smoke, till it burns that. Wait till the smoke clears and do another coat. Okay, it's been about 15 minutes now. The smoke has kind of stopped from this side. The smoke coming up from this side still. But we're going to go ahead and put our next coat in. We're now ready for our second coat. I changed to a rag because it seemed like it's a lot better. So I'm just going to grab it like this from in there. On our third coat, we did 3 already, and it's looking pretty good. I would say 1 more and we're done. So there we have it for this 4 coats. It's looking really good. So we're gonna wait. We're gonna turn it off after the smoke stops. We're gonna turn it off and then see how it looks when it's all done. All right, let's go ahead and turn it off and see how it looks. So there you have it. There is our Blackstone seasoned. I think it came out pretty good. Pretty good. Alright, so there you guys have it. There's our Blackstone seasoned. There's a couple things I want to go over with you guys because a lot of people ask questions. Like in our Facebook group that I'm in on Blackstone, a lot of the questions pop up, almost the same questions over and over and over, because people are new to it. Some of you won't have it won't be all nice and black seasoned all the way to the end. It'll stop almost there. Don't worry, that's normal. Just keep on cooking, and the more you cook, the more it'll get nice and black and seasoned. My old Blackstone, that's how it started. It just seemed like from the top all the way getting close to the end, it was nice and black, and then the front part wasn't. But I kept cooking and cooking, and now it's all black. So it'll take time. The more you cook, the better. Next thing, one of the important things, is the way we season it today. I wasn't happy with the process. The process that I did for my first Blackstone it seemed easier, and it was different from this one, because Blackstone even tells you this is how you do it. But the way that I did it, for me, was better, and it might be better for you. This one, it just seemed like, you leave it on high, you put in your your rags or whatever, and you have to be fast because it'll burn it. The old method that I did, and I wish I just did that, was once you clean it, you turn it up on high, let it, once you see the heat and turn in the middle, you know, when it gets all heated, it turns colors, a different color. Once it's that hot, turn it off. Let it cool down. Once it cools down, add your first coat of lard, nice and thin. Okay, once you're done, turn it back on to high. Let it burn all that oil, and you'll start seeing smoke. Once the smoke starts to downgrade and not be a lot, then you can turn it off and then let it cool down. Once it's cooled down, add another coat and repeat the process. Do it about 4 times. That is more of a simple way and kind of guarantees you that there's no way of you going to mess it up. This way, it's a little bit harder because it's so hot and it stays hot for the whole time. You have to hurry up and put that in thing. And as you saw, I kind of struggled because it was burning the towel, the paper towel. It burned. Then I got a cloth one that I had in there, changed it to that. That one worked a little bit better, but it's still, you had to hurry up and it's hot. The other way that I just told you guys, that one's easy. You cannot mess up. I would suggest go to that one. So remember, turn it up to high. Once it gets real hot, turn it off. Add your first coat once it cools down. Then turn it back up high. Let it burn all that oil. Once that smoke is gone or minimizes, turn it off, let it cool down, and apply another thing of lard. And repeat the process about 4 to 5 times. Then it'll look good. But don't worry if the front of your griddle is not fully seasoned. That one will take time, but eventually it'll get that. The next one is, a lot of people will ask, what should I cook first? Is there something I should cook for first? A lot of people say cook bacon, and the other half of the people say cook onions. And they're both right, because bacon is, it lets go a lot of that grease, and it keeps seasoning it again. So for the first cook, either onions or bacon, I'm gonna go with bacon. For my first cook, I'm gonna do bacon, which that'll be on the next video. So that's what I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna go with bacon for my first cook. Onions works well because when you cut onions, cut a lot of onions, put them in there and just cook them. And so you're adding those flavors in the griddle. But bacon works too, so bacon, onions, I'm gonna go with bacon. That is another one you guys should try, go for it. That's it for this video. If you guys like what you guys saw, make sure you guys hit that like. Make sure you guys hit that boom, hit that subscribe button, because there's more of great content coming, and you guys do not want to miss any of it. And make sure you guys check out those videos, because they're great. They ain't too bad. I mean, they're alright, but it'll help. We'll see you guys next time.